Alright guys, in this video we'll be doing the falafel box from the hack the box. So the IP address is 10.10.10.73. So let's get started, and I have already done the nmap scan. So you can see the nmap are the ports, version scanning, and you can see there are two ports open. One is SSH and another is web server, and there are no UDP ports, and I have also run the default SC scripts, and you can see here there is nothing information. So there is a robots.txt and it is disallowing the start.txt. So that could be interesting. So let's go to robots.txt, and for every user agent it is disallowing any text files to be shown up in the web crawling results. Okay, I have done the GoBuster scan, and you can also see there is a login page. So let me say admin, let's say admin. So admin username and the password admin. So wrong identification admin. So that means whenever we give the username tech69, it says try again. So that could be we can try for Boolean SQL injections. Why you need to try for the Boolean SQL injection means when I give the correct username, it is giving me some different result than the error message try again. So that means this could be vulnerable to the Boolean SQL injections. So okay, I will show you the GoBuster scan. So this is the login page, and I have put the extensions text files, because here in the robots.txt they are disallowing the text files to be shown up in the web crawlers like Google or any other web crawler. So that's why I got the doubt and put the text. Now interestingly, we have only one file, that is cyberradar.txt. So if you go to that, so there is some information from administrator, urgent malicious site takeover, 2 lawyers. Okay, so falafel.htb. okay, that could be the domain. Okay, so let us see the we need to specify the HTTP. Okay, it's the same page, right? You can see the login, so it's the same page. So okay, let's try HTTPS. So there is no page on that. So of course there is no 443 port open. So username Chris has informed me that he could log into my account without knowing the password. So our guess should be correct because of the Boolean SQL injection. Then take full control of the website using the image upload feature. So you can upload the reverse shell, got cyber protection on the login form, and senior PHP developer worked on filtering the URL. So okay, that means this should be prone to the Boolean SQL injection. So let's turn on the intercept on. It's a burp. Let's say admin, send it to repeater, turn the intercept off. So this username field should be prone to the Boolean SQL injection, because whenever we are putting the correct information here, we are getting the different response, and we are putting the wrong information like admin2, we are getting the false response. Okay, so you can see down here there is a false response, try again. So this is the false condition, and wrong identification should be the true response. So this is the true response. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say end. I'm going to put the false condition 1 is equals to 2 and then comments. So the query could be select credentials from the table name where username is equals to admin and 1 is equals to 2 comment. So this should do fine. Let's send this, and now we should see the false statement, that is try again. So that means this query got executed. So and 1 is equals to 2 is making the entire query false. So that's why we got the try again. So let me change it to 1 is equals to 1. Now let's send this, and you can see wrong identification admin. So that means this query has been executed successfully. So that should do it. Now I am going to try for time-based boolean, time-based SQL injections. Let me go to my nmap scan. So it is using the Ubuntu operating system. So that means on Ubuntu you cannot install MS SQL, right? Microsoft SQL Server. So that could you can no need to try for the MS SQL. Okay, so sleep of 4. Let's say I'm going to sleep for 4 seconds. So it's saying hacking attempt detected. Okay, that should let me change to pg underscore sleep. I'm trying for PostgreSQL. So hacking attempt detected. So that means this query is being checked for some names in this. If this query contains the words like sleep, pg or benchmark, then this is going to be treated as a hacking attempt detected. So we cannot use the functions, sleep functions or etc. So let me use select. So we need to determine what type of database it's using, whether it's Oracle type or not Oracle type. So we can say select a select a from information schema dot. Let's first determine dual. Select a from dual. This should do it. And now if I say it may be the Oracle, I think. So let's also try for other one, information schema dot tables, remit 1. Okay, that should not come like this. True statement. Okay, let's try for v dollar version. So okay, this is not Oracle, so we got the error because there is no table v dollar version. So information schema dot tables, limit 1 is equals to a. So okay, we came to know that it is MySQL type database. Okay, now we need to determine the tables, right? Select a from what we can say login, limit 1. So why we are limiting 1 is we should get only the one result a, and send this. So try again. So let's try for users. So it is like a common table, so you can just brute force with the intruder. So wrong identification admin, so that means we have the users table. Okay, now we need to brute force the column names. Typically it will be username and the password, but we need to make sure that those are in there in the table. Concat of, I am concatenating with, let's say, username, and whatever the username it will be appended at the right side of a, and in this string we need to select first one, because the first one will be always a, because we are concatenating the username at this a. So substring of 1 comma 1, so that should return a if there is a username column. So let's send this request, and you can see there is the username column. Let's change it to 22, and you can see try again. So that means there is no username 2 column, there is username column. Now we need to say password. Let's say password, and so you can see there is a password. Let's say 23, password 23, and there you can see there is only try again. So that means we got the columns. Let's check for ID column. So there is an ID, username, password. So we don't generally need the ID. Now we came to know there is a users table, and in that there is a username and the password column. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to find the maximum string that is holding in these columns, max of length of username. So you can remove this limit 1. So it should give you, like, say 10. So let's send this. So try again. So that means the username column contains the data, maximum cannot be 10. So let me send this to intruder, and now we are going to brute force these positions. Clear all positions and set this one as position. Oh god. Okay, so let's add this as position. Let me say 1 to 51, because after brute forcing we came to know that that is the hash of the length 32. So let's copy all these numbers and go to payloads and paste here. Okay, we are good to go. Maximum of length of username is equals to the number we are brute forcing. So let's start the attack. Start attack. So the default payload is this one, that is with the 10. So we got the response as a try again, as a false error, right? If there is a correct error, we get the wrong identification admin. So that means the characters in the true response are greater than this in the false response. So you can give the descending order for this. Okay, 7393 maximum of username. Maximum of username, we can stop this one. Maximum of username, you can see admin is the maximum of 4, right? AD also okay, admin is 5. So okay, there should maybe there is only one user, so that's fine. Now we are going to say password. So let's start this attack again. So let's see the default request, that is default response, and that is error. So you can double click on this to sort it according to the descending order. So the maximum username could be admin or any other member with 5 characters. That should be maximum. Okay, meanwhile what you can do is so we got the response, right? So 7393. So the response is, so 32 is the maximum length. So let's close this. So if you do 32 character brute force using the intruder, it will take days. So let's use the Python script. So first we need to construct the query. Select substring of password. The first character should be let's say A, where username is admin. So that should do it. Let's send this request and see the response, whether the first character is A or not. So first character is not A. Okay, so let us scripted this with Python, and I have already done the Python script in order to save the time. So it took a little bit of time. So okay, I'm importing the request. I will just explain this code. Importing the request module and using the username. So admin and select this this entire query. I just copied this and pasted as a username string. So you can see username string, and in this username we are going to brute force this place and this place. Okay, first I am generating the data of all the uppercase and lowercase and then the numbers. I am constructing the dictionary. We need to send this as a data. So this is the default length of a error. So this is the default length. I am storing it in the default length variable, and then I am going to loop over this 1 to 32 and admin and select. So you can see the place order here. I am going to brute force this one and this one. So after brute forcing, I have got the hash. So this is the Python code. So first 10 positions we got this, and 30 positions, and finally this is the hash. This is final hash. Okay, it's using the PHP, right? So I have asked my friend on the Discord. Immediately he had found that there is a PHP hash collision. So I'm going to explain that, but I'm going to show you how to brute force the other usernames in the database. Okay, let me grab the request. So this is the page. Now I am going to say tech. So this is try again. Now you can use the users list. I think locate secrets grep for users. So this is very less list, sec list common. not this one. You can type user names. Let's see if this contains some 10 million usernames. MS SQL. Okay, anyway, you can use any word list, and you can simply write the Python script, and you can brute force this value. Instead of admin, you can put like textdictionary and send the request and see the response. If it is default length, that is error length, saying that try again, then you can see that username does not exist. Okay. If I go back to my notes, we have this hash, right? So this is the hash in the database. Okay, what I'm going to do is there is another user named Chris. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the Python script to grab the hash of the Chris user. So meanwhile we can do other. That should do it. Python 3 brute. So it will run in the background. So meanwhile I will show you magic hashes. So if you go to this website WhiteHatSec, it's basically saying that PHP, when you are using the double equal to, it does not check the left hand side and the right hand side variables types. It just compares. You need to use the triple equal to. It's similar to the JavaScript. So whenever the number starts with 0e and the remaining is the only numbers, this will be treated as a floating point value. Okay, so whenever there is a database like PHP and it is using the hash of MD5 and say this float number, and if you do the MD5 hash of this number, you will get this exact same result. So you can see this is the exact same result we have here. So that means this floating point number, if you log in with this floating point number, it will be sent into the hash function and the output will be this one. And similarly it is like comparing this one with this 0. So it is checking whether it is correct or not. So obviously you will get logged in. Similarly there are some other magic hashes as well. If it's using the MD2, then you can try this string. You can see the hashes particular. So if this is the hash that is stored in the database, and you can try this string. So this is the table you can put down in your notes. So let me copy this number and let us go back to Firefox. So meanwhile let it brute force. Type admin, paste. So it says login successful, and we got some page that is specifying to upload a image. So I have tried all the image bypass file upload bypassing techniques, but I failed. So then I have tried the .php, .php.png and %00 etc. or the few of the extensions in the GitHub page. So if you click on profile, it says know your limits. So that means we need to put the long name so that there may be a buffer overflow. We don't know. So let's go ahead and try it. Okay, let's create a new file. So it's a limit.py, import request. Okay, meanwhile let's capture the request in the Burp Suite to understand which parameters it's being sent. Okay, okay, it's upload via URL, right? So we need to host the file on our machine. So Python 3 server Where are png files? So let's first host the folder, and now okay, there is a png file, test.png. Sorry, it's test2.png. Right, let's intercept on. So click on upload. Now let's send this to intruder, sorry, repeater. Okay, let's intercept off. So upload successful, where www.html uploads random string. So in that random string folder, the file has been uploaded, test2.png. Let's go to the directory. So in the brute force of the GoBuster, you can see the directories here, uploads. So this uploads folder, so the files are going into that folder. Uploads and test2.png. So it says image cannot be displayed because it contains errors. So you can see there is a no limits, so that means we need to overflow the file name, or we don't know. Let's try this out. So what is the data it is sending? URL as a parameter name, and the value is direct URL, so that should do fine. R is equals to request dot get off. So first say upload URL is equals to upload.php. So now what, let's generate the file name. Let's say capital B, so let's say file name, let's say 100 bs. So file name plus is equals to let's say the extension is .png. So 100 bs and .png. Okay, so let's so that file should be hosted, right? Import os. So os dot system of touch the file name dot format of file name. So now I'm going to make the data, that is the this data dictionary URL, and then data is our source, so that is this one, http 1010 16 180 8000 slash the file name, right? Dot format of file name. So that's our data. Now r is equals to request dot get of URL, sorry, upload URL, and then we need to post data. Data is equals to dict. Okay, that should do it. You should send a request. Maybe we should send the cookie as well. That's okay, sorry, otherwise it don't recognize us as a this cookie. So copy this cookie. Cookie is equals to PHP sys id colon this one. So that should do it. That is as our cookie. So with the admin cookie I am sending this request, so that should upload it. Okay, so now I am going to print the r.text. So let's see again the code. Upload.php and logging as a admin and the file name. So this should do it. Python 3 limit.py. Sorry. So we got some result. Let's read that. So specify an URL of an image to upload. I'm sorry, it's post request. So sorry, request.post. So you can see the upload successful and uploaded to this random directory. So it has uploaded the 100 bees.png. So let me increase the number 200. Okay, that's, I think it has successfully uploaded 200 bees.png. So let me increase to 300. File name too long. What the hell is that? So okay, the file name is too long, 304 characters. So it is trying to shorten. So shorten to this one. Let me copy all these bees. Copy. Where is my Python? So length of s. So 236 characters, that is being accepted by the backend. So let's go and tweak our exploit. Let's say 200 bees. Sorry, 236, right? 232, and you can see .png here. So right, so that should correctly fit onto our web the filter. So upload successful. It has been successful. Now let me change the extension to PHP and let's see the response. So something bad happened, bad extension. Okay, now what we're going to do is say file name plus is equals to .png. Okay, that should do it, I think so. Okay, you can see whenever you uploaded the 240 characters, the last 4 characters have been truncated, and you can see that leads to the file name .php. So what we are going to do is we are going to generate a file name that is 232 of normal characters and with the extensions .php, .png. Okay, so let me say b into 232. Let me copy this and nano 232bs .php, .png. So now we need to paste the PHP reverse shell. PHP rev cat PHP. I think I have already overwritten this one 10.10.16.180. So this should do it. Cat PHP rev. Copy all the content. Copy this and paste here. Okay, let me again, where is the tool? Let's host the server. So instead of this file name, we can say comment all this. I think file name has been formed here. So we have already created the file that is 232bs.php.png and here we are uploading. Okay, that should do it. Save this. So trying to shorten, so it has been uploaded to this directory. So copy this random string and let's go to slash. Let's start the listener. Okay, what is the file name? So these 232 bs, paste the bs and .php. Now hit enter. We should see the shell. So you can see who am I. So we are data, and let's see our positions. So we have cracked the 18 positions up to here. So let the script continue. Let's say which Python 3. Okay, that should do it. Python 3 import pty.spawn bin bash. Okay, let's have pwd. So we are root cd var www html. cd var cd ls cd html. So okay, these are the files. You can see cyber.txt login logic. So let me view the login logic.php. Okay, so request method post, and we need to send the username password compulsory. Message invalid username password. Okay, so here we are getting into the username variable and password variable, and they are being compared to string type. And then you can see it is doing the MD5 hash. So we have sent the float number that is being hashed to this password. so that will result in the same hash that is stored in the database. Okay, now match of union and sweep benchmark. So you can see, if we send union, sweep or benchmark in the username field or password field, it is saying hacking attempt detected, so we are going to end. Otherwise we are selecting. So you can see this is the SQL injection. So this is not filtered correctly. Now fetch password, and then it is role is equals to admin, then going to upload.php. Otherwise it is normal profile.php. Okay, since we are admin, we went to the upload.php. So okay, that should that is the logic of this. And authorizer.php. So it is checking the roles. Cat connection.php, localhost 3306, that is MySQL. So it is running as internal. You can see Mosh password. So you can see this is the username for the user, so password for the user Moshe. So connecting to this database. So this is the PHP script. Okay. So we can SSH into this Moshe. We have the SSH port open. Are there any other interesting files? So we can also view upload.php. So it is generating the random folder. So it is creating the random folder. So there should be some like 236. So okay, anyway, we can go to Moshe, paste the password. So we are Moshe. Who am I? Moshe. Let's go to cd home ls. So there is another user Moshe ls yosi. So we have the permission denied. So let's say id. Okay, you can see there are so many unusual groups here. After a lot of checking, I did not get anything. Then I saw the nudge from the right up, and there is a frame buffer from the video. So let's go to cd dev and let's grep fb star. So fb 0. So okay, if you go to cat apply strings fb 0, so it is like a raw format, you can't get much out of it. So we can say cat fb 0, let's say raw dot image, let's say image dot raw. Okay, permission denied. Cat fb 0, and we are saving it to temp image dot raw. cd temp ls minus la. So you can see there are these many bytes. So what you can do is you can open this in GIMP editor or Photoshop. So I do not have GIMP or Photoshop. I have recently formatted the computer, so there will be raw loaders in this GIMP and Photoshop. So you can use those to load this image. After loading the image, you will get the password like this. So there will be image of logging of the user, changing this UOC user is going to change the password, and that image will be in the as a screenshot. So this is the password for the UOC user. Now I can switch to UOC. uh, so this Moshe user have the SQL connection, right? MySQL user Moshe, password. Let's see whether there are any other juicy information in the database. Show databases. So information schema and falafel. Use falafel. And show tables. So there is only one table users. Select star from users. So okay, ID, username, password, role. Admin. So this is the hash. You can see exact hash and the Chris. So the Chris user has been have this hash. You can see weird. What I'm selecting the Chris and the substrings. Okay, the first hash begins with the D, right? So that should be identification for our this one. Okay, there is no information. Let's exit. Let's go to UOC, and this is the password. So who am I? UOC CD home, UOC ls LA. So there is no information. Let's say ID. So you can see the UOC member is a member of disk. Okay, that should do it. ls minus LA and dev SD star. So I am viewing all SCSI devices, all partitions, permissions. So whether we have the read permission or not. So disk group can read write on this SDA. So that should do it. Now you can use the cat dev SDA1, but it takes a lot of garbage. So instead of that, what you can do is you can debug the file system using debugfs SDA1. So here you can only read the files, and of course you can write files because we have the write permission, but we are going to only fetch the root flag cat root.txt. So this is the root flag. Then what we can fetch is we can say etc pass wd, also etc shadow. So you can try to crack the hashes of the root user. So instead what you can do is cat root, you can grab the private key of the root user .ssh id underscore rsa. So copy this nano pvt key. So let me save this as private key, permissions 400, and you can log in as a root. So who am I? Root. Okay, let's see the brute force here. So it should stop with the D, right? So it is always brute forcing the admin. I don't know why. So okay, that's all about this box. So what we have learned is we have done the SQL injection Boolean based, and then we came to know that there is a restriction on the file upload and we bypassed it. And we also learned about the magic hashes and the password reuse of these credentials. And then ID group. So if you are member of other groups, you can search for a lot more information. And if you are member of disk group, you can list the permissions of this SCSI devices attached to the computer, and you can see whether you can read or write. So that's all about this video.